Okay, so we just want to review a little bit of the trigonometry that you learned in 10th grade. So remember, sine, cosine, and tan of an angle in a right triangle are these ratios: opposite over hypotenuse, adjacent over hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent. So we have the mnemonic SOHCAHTOA to help us out to remember that. And here's what they mean. All right, so for example, over here, the sine of angle A, this is angle A, is its opposite over the hypotenuse. So we don't have numbers here, we just have variables, but that would be the ratio. Down here, we're given some information about this triangle and asked to determine the other angles and sides. So what I might start by doing is just draw any old right triangle, and now I have to make sure I label it correctly. So angle C is 90 degrees, B is 40 degrees, and side C, lowercase c, well, that's opposite the same angle of the same, or the angle of the same letter, so this is 10. So I'm missing angle A, I'm missing side A and side B. So angle A is the easiest one. It is 90 degrees minus angle B, which is 40, so angle A is 50 degrees. And now I have to decide to say start with A or B. So if I wanted to calculate, say, this length here, side A, I might look at the angle that I have and then use this known side of 10. And I have to think about, well, in terms of opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse, which ones am I talking about? So if I'm at angle B here, A is the adjacent, and 10 over here is the hypotenuse. So if I'm dealing with adjacent and hypotenuse, I'm going to be using a cosine ratio. So the cosine of 40 is equal to A over 10. And then I want to use that equation to help me find A. So A is going to be equal to 10 cosine 40. And so if you put this in your calculator, remember that you want to be in degree mode. So make sure you're in degree mode, that's very important. And 10 cosine 40 is 7.66. So I'm going to round that up to 7.7 centimeters. And now to find side B over here, I might hopefully realize that that's the opposite. So I'm going to say that the sine now of 40, sine is the opposite over hypotenuse, is B over 10. So B is 10 sine 40. And I put that in my calculator and I get 6.42. So B is 6.4 centimeters. And those are the three pieces of information that I was missing. So we call that solving a triangle. Some other important information: what is an angle of elevation? An angle of elevation is from a horizontal upwards. So here, that's this angle. This is the angle of elevation, sometimes called inclination. And then angle of depression is from a horizontal line downwards. So that's the poor turkey down here, depression. All right, so here we have a little example where we're talking about angle of elevation. So we have a 100-meter cliff. So let's say that's 100 meters from there to there. And I'm going to draw a horizontal line coming out. The angle of elevation to a plane flying is 25 degrees. So I'm going to say this is 25 degrees, and I'm going to use the letter P for the plane. And directly below the plane is a boat. So presumably this is some water down here. And the angle of depression from the cliff is 40 degrees. There we have it. And we are asked to determine the horizontal distance between the boat and the cliff. So we're looking for this distance here. And hopefully you'll see that my right angle is up here. And really, what I'm looking for is this side that I've just darkened right there. And this is 100 as well. This side corresponds to this cliff. So I'm going to use the tangent ratio here. Tangent of 40 degrees is opposite 100 over adjacent. And I'm going to call this length here just x. And now when I have the variable in the denominator, I have to multiply to get it out. So I'm going to get x tan 40 equals 100 as these two cancel. And then x is 100 divided by the tangent of 40. So that I'm going to put in my calculator and get 119.17. So we could call that 0.2